This demonstration we look at creating an Azure Load Balancer. An Azure Load Balancer allows me to intercept traffic on a single IP address and then pass that traffic to some services running in the back end. For example, we could have a web front end. We'll hit an IP address specified by a DNS record, and then what will happen is the load balancer will then balance the traffic between all of the web front end servers. Coming to my Azure portal. On my Azure portal, we're going to select New, and then on New, what we'll do is we'll go to Networking. And within networking, what we want to do is we want to create a load balancer. That'll bring us into a little wizard. So within the wizard, we need to start filling out some information relating to what we want to call the load balancer and some information relating to what the load balancer will do. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this lab. And then what we'll do is we'll just put this in as NLB for network load balancer. We've got two different types. We've got public or we've got internal. So public will be internet facing, internal will be used internally within my Azure cloud. I'm going to go with internal. Need to choose my virtual network. So the virtual network I'll select. I've only got the one, really, that I created in a previous demo, which is my lab VNet. So we'll select lab VNet. And then what we'll do is we just need to specify the subnet. So in the case of the subnet, I create one called production. So we'll go with production subnet. And then what we'll do for the IP address assignment, now obviously out there in the real world we wouldn't really want this to change, so we'll probably go with static. Just for purpose of the demo, I'm purely going to go with dynamic. Then if we scroll this down a little bit, what we need to do is, as this is resource manager based, all we'll do is we'll just create a resource group called lab LB RG, so lab load balancer resource group. We'll pin this to the dashboard, and then we'll just select create. As you can see, it's validating. Validation succeeded. We should start then seeing submitting deployment. Deployment started. And once the deployment's finished, what we should get is it should open up our network load balancer settings window. And as we can see, it's now bringing up my settings. So what we have here now, we've now got our network load balancer. So what we've got here is we've got the thing that we're going to hit. So one of the things that we need to do here is we need to specify back-end pools, or in other words, what this load balancer will actually point at the back end. So we'd select back-end pools, we'd select add, and then all we'll do is we'll give it a name. So let's just call mine test NLB. Now I don't have any virtual machines or availability sets available, but at this point here we could point it through so that this backend pool points at, for example, an availability set that we may have created, which is just multiple virtual machines split across potentially multiple data centers, or across multiple racks, or multiple fault domains. We'll select OK. This will now create my backend pool. And what we can do at a later date is we could add the virtual machines. Another thing we have to add as well is we have to add some probes. So if we just go to probes, and the purpose of our probe is just something that we will have that we can actually verify the existence of the back-end services. So we'll just select add. We'll give it a name, so let's just call this probe and then NLB. What we're going to do here is protocol will be TCP, port 80, interval. So if we just hover over any of these, the amount of time between probe attempts, and then in the case of the unhealthy threshold, again, if we just hover over the number of consecutive probe failures that must occur before a virtual machine is considered unhealthy. So we'll select OK at this point here. And then finally what we need to do is just create some load balancing rules. So again, all I'm going to do is select add. This will bring me into another wizard, so I just need to configure this wizard. And all we need to do is we just need to give it a name. So I'll call this one NLB rules. And we've got our front end IP address. We've got the protocol. So we'll go with TCP. And then what we're going to do here is in the case of the port, what we could do, for example, specify port 80 at the front and then maybe specify something different at the back and then specify our backend pool. So what we're going to do on the network load balancers, we're going to listen for port 80 and we're going to pass it to port 80. Now we'll scroll down a bit further. We've got the probe that we set up earlier, so we're going to monitor on port 80 against the back-end virtual machines. And then what we have for our session persistence, if we just click on the little drop down here, We could use client IP, or we could use client IP and protocol. Again, with everything that we have here, if you're not 100% sure of what this means, you can always hover over the information button and it'll give you information. So for example here, session persistence specifies that traffic from a client should be handled by the same virtual machine in the backend pool during the session. This is specifying the case the idle timeout. Again, if we just hover over here, so this is a keep a TCP or HTTP connection open without relying on clients to keep send alive. So we're going to go with 4 minutes. And in the case of my floating IP, direct server return, all we're going to do at this point here, I'm going to leave it disabled, but as we can see here, we recommend using this feature only when configuring SQL always on availability group listener. And if we scroll down a little bit further, nothing more to set, so we'll just select OK. And we've now set up our network load balancing rule. And that's the end of this demonstration of creating an internal network load balancer. Thank you.